Hey guys, welcome back to our series on fixing up the CJ5. So we're going to be doing a couple things in this video. The first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these old locking hubs that we have on our Jeep here, and we're going to be taking them off and swapping them for some new ones. And then after this, we're actually going to go up here to the front and we're going to take apart our shackles and replace them with new ones because the shackles that we have are bent and out of shape. So hope you'll enjoy it.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey there, I'm Kobe, and this is Morgan. After spending our entire lives living in North Texas, we have decided to leave the comforts of home in search of adventure and God's will for our lives. With the unknown on the horizon, we hope that you will join us for our journey. We are the Wolfgens, and this is our story.
So real quick, just want to give y'all an overview. So these are old locking hubs. So this is the one I've actually already pulled it off the other side, but I'm going to take it apart here and show you how these things work. So on the outside here, you have essentially a free section, and then when we spin this all the way around, it locks it. And what happens is inside here, there's this gear, and as it locks, it pulls this gear out kind of to the edge here, and as it's sitting here on the edge, it actually locks our hubs in, and so they both spin at the same time, and it makes it where when we're in four-wheel drive, our front and our back hubs are both spinning. So hopefully that makes it where we don't get stuck as much. But what did they say, Morgan?
Four-wheel drive doesn't mean you get stuck less, just means you get stuck further in.
That's right. So anyways, we're gonna start by taking our old hubs off, and then we're gonna put on these like new shiny ones. It's gonna look so good. So a couple things we're gonna need. Gonna need an Allen wrench. Gonna need some pliers here to take our locking rings off. Gonna need our drill to get these bolts off. And that should be pretty much it. And here we take the cap off. It's important to know that when we're installing the new ones, you never want to grease your locking hubs. So all locking hubs that you get, especially from Warren, they come pre-greased. And so if you get some or you're rebuilding some of your own, the only thing that you may want to do is just take some motor oil and put a couple drops in there. But you definitely don't want to apply a thick grease like you would for your bearings. Take our pliers here, and we have a snap ring inside of here. And we actually need to put this guy to the side because we're going to reuse him when we're installing the new ones. So we're actually going to save these bolts too because our new locking hubs don't come with extra bolts. So we'll reuse all of these bolts, locking washers, and regular washers. And after we get all of those off, this should just slide right out. All right, now that we've got our old one off, we can get our new one here. And we're gonna put it on, we're gonna set this cap off to the side. You can see the spring mechanism that actually locks it in there. Set that off to the side. So one thing I want to do before I go ahead and screw these or bolt it down and attach our washer on is I want to make sure that our warn is facing upward so you can read it. So I was gonna want to see how it's gonna fit in here. Take our seal off for a minute. Nice. Oh, that was lucky. We happened to put it on the right way. Looks good, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Okay, so our axle wants to come in and out here, so I'm just gonna reach in here and pop it out, or pull it out slightly. There'll always be a little play in it. And let's go ahead and put it. Okay. All right, now we're gonna take our split ring and we're going to install it right here so this axle has a groove right on it that we're gonna put this on. Oh. Now with that in there, this is nice and secured on. We can go ahead and finish putting all of our bolts in. All right, now that we got our, or the actual locking hub part on, only thing that we need to do now is put our cap on and secure it so that we can actually tell it whether to spin freely or to lock in when we're doing four-wheel drive. So all of our holes are lining up nicely. Now we can pop this thing on. All right, so we got this all hooked up now. So right now it's on free. So when we're on the trails, we can come in here. We can turn this and now they'll be locked in. So that's gonna be it for installing our locking hubs. As you can see, it was a pretty easy install. So the main reason that we did this was when I took them apart, this is what the inside of our old locking hubs looked like. So they were bent, and as you can see, there were some springs in there that were broken, and so it was definitely time to replace those.
Next, we will see Kobe get our new shackles on the Jeep. Shackles, I guess, hold leaf springs to frames, which is suspension, so that sounds important. I'm not the mechanic in this relationship. I do know that this is not a straight line. I don't know if you can see that. This is not a straight line, and it was supposed to be. They're pretty worn out, pretty bent. This other thing that Kobe showed me is this guy, and it's supposed to be a right angle and a right angle, and it looks like a smiley face. So these guys needed to be replaced so that our suspension is in good shape for the trails.
These bushings right here that hold the leaf spring to the frame are pretty worn out. So we're gonna take this off and swap it out. And that'll make sure that our suspension is good and tight. So when we head over the mountain. A little tight. Oh, there it goes. Oh, okay. All right, nut number 2. All right, now that we got these 2 nuts off, here's the fun part. We gotta hammer the crap out of it and work both of these bolts back out. And that's what the rest of the bushing looks like. The best way I've found to remove these is you just got to kind of pry away at it until you can open it up like this and just tear little pieces out. And then once you got little pieces out, it comes out. And then once we get one side out, the other side's easy because we just can hammer through. And there it went. So see, second side, much easier, and it comes out in one piece. And it's actually in really good shape in there. And sometimes there will be rust or corrosion of some sort, or just little bits and pieces stuck, but actually it came off pretty good. Oh, there we go. That's a good chunk. Perfect. And once again, now we can hammer out the other side. There it goes. Let's see if it'll just pop out. Yep. And boom. Last one. Man, the second ones are so much easier. Clean this out. In fact, we'll just run a rag through these just to help. It won't do anything for like rust or anything like that, but it'll just get kind of that loose rubber and any debris out that it happens to be left. Alrighty, pretty good. So you can see the difference in these bushings. So much thicker. There's the other new one. Okay. Throw our cover on. And then we'll use the nuts to actually suck this all together and tighten it down. Alrighty. And boom. There we go. Brand new shackle on this side. And a brand new shackle on this side.
Okay, as you can see, Sadie and I worked really hard to get this Jeep ready to go to Colorado. So we're much better off now with new shackles and new locking hubs. Those will definitely help when we're out on the trail and needing to climb some mountains. So Sadie and I are going to call it a day. We're going to go in, clean our dirty hands, and yeah, I don't know what else mechanics do, but there you go. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. Join us next week as we continue the CJ5 series and getting it fixed up. Next week we will be doing our doors so we don't fall out. See you then.